All right. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a good first week in Tri Delta. I hope you all were able to meet some fun people. Did you all get to hang out with anyone or meet anyone new this week? Can I get a thumbs up if you did? Oh, I see some thumbs up. Looks like you all got to hang out with some people, so that's really exciting. Well, yay. Well, today we're going to be learning about Tri Delta's founding and history. I also sent out a newsletter with important information and videos for you all to watch. So please do that after this meeting if you haven't already. And we're just going to get started and jump on in. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Perfect. So just to kind of start off, just in Tri Delta, if you don't know already, we do really value mental health. So I thought it'd be really fun to do a quick wellness check, and I want you all to really message in the chat what you are feeling today on this Sunday. I think this feelings wheel really does a good description of just different adjectives and different words you can use in order to describe how you're feeling. Sometimes it is hard to put a name with exactly what you're going through, so go ahead and mention in the chat using this feelings wheel to let me know kind of where you're at on this Sunday. Ooh, okay, it looks like we're kind of all over the board. I see some stressed. Our midterms this week. Can I get a nod if they are? Yes, okay, I see a lot of people who are stressed, lots of stressed, overwhelmed, grateful, tired, but motivated. Well, that's good that you're motivated. Oh, confident, successful, optimistic, tired. Oh my goodness. Okay. You all are definitely all over the place. I hope that you're relating to some other people who are also here. It's really helpful for me to know really kind of how you all are feeling too, just so I can make sure that I'm adjusting like the meeting if I need to. It seems like everyone's really kind of stressed with midterms. So if we need to keep things lighter, maybe kind of shorten anything, we definitely can, so you all can focus and prioritize what you all have going on. Okay, well, let's jump on to the next slide. Thanks for letting me know what you are kind of feeling and how you're doing on this Sunday.
Lainey, before you start, Bridget can't get in.
Oh wait, I just got in. It only let me join on my phone.
Oh, don't we love technology in 2020? Thank you for letting me know, though. If you all have any friends who are also texting you and saying that they're having issues, feel free to let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help them get in. So for our overview today, so we're going to be debriefing that pledge ceremony. So I know not everyone has fully gone through the pledge ceremony. There's been kind of a lot of moving parts. A good majority of the women have done the pledging ceremony. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you all heard through the pledging ceremony, and then we're also going to just kind of debrief and talk about like how you all can live that out as Tri Deltas today. If you have not done the pledging ceremony, don't worry, I will be reaching out to you all this week. We've had quite a few women join Tri Delta since our bid day, so we want to make sure that we can include them too in that pledging ceremony, which is why I've kind of been waiting until this week to reach out to you all. So we'll talk about the pledging ceremony. We're going to talk about Tri Delta's purpose. So you're going to learn what the purpose of Delta 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 is. Then we're going to talk about Tri Delta's history and founding and just everything that there is to know about, you know, Tri Delta in 1888 and our founders who started this organization. Then we'll go into a little bit of the symbols, colors, and emblems. But hopefully you watched those videos on the history of the founding and the symbols, colors, and emblems videos. And then we'll kind of wrap up and do our kind of typical announcements and sister shout outs. So we're going to do a quick icebreaker activity first. So this is called the roadmap activity. So really what it is you are going to write down kind of the roadmap of your life. So really you're going to list out kind of significant events that have happened to you just since the time you were really, I guess, born or can remember anything to now. So like anything that's been significant in your life that's really impacted your journey and your roadmap and kind of dictated what's led you here today. So like a significant event could be like how you decided to attend Sacred Heart University, or it could be, you know, maybe you moved whenever you were younger to a new city or a new school. So it could really be anything that like really impacted you and kind of shaped who you are. So kind of try and come up with maybe 5 different events that have shaped you and really made you who you are, and be ready to kind of like talk about this. Obviously you can share as much or as little as you'd like. You don't have to disclose your whole roadmap to the group that you're going to be talking to, but we want you all to really be ready to talk about these things, and so that we can learn about you all on a deeper level. So what I'm going to have you do right now is just take out a pen or paper or your phone and your notes app and just kind of start writing down some of those events, and try and think of at least 5. And then I'll give you a couple minutes just to kind of jot your thoughts down, and then I'll send you into a breakout room. So I'll have you all do that right now. Go ahead and jot down your thoughts.
Hi.
All right, do you all need any more time, or are you okay to go in your breakout rooms? Can I get a thumbs up if you're good? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna send you all into a breakout room, and I'll give you all about 12 minutes to kind of share your roadmap. Is it not sending you all into your breakout rooms, or do you see it in the bottom right corner?
I just logged on, but I don't have anything coming up.
Okay, let me send you into a breakout group. Casey, let's see. I think it does have you. Let me see. Oh, dang it. I accidentally put her in the waiting room. Sorry, Casey, I accidentally put you in the waiting room, not a breakout room.
That's okay.
Okay. Let's see. I believe I have you. Oh. Okay, do you see it now?
No.
All right, I think we're all back. So I'm gonna share my screen again. I saw this really funny TikTok that was like, if you don't acknowledge that you're sharing your screen, then are you really sharing it? And then I was like, I need to stop saying that when I share my screen. But I yet continue to say it whenever I share my screen. So I thought that I would share that with you all. I really enjoy TikTok, so I make a lot of references sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna jump back into our pledge service. So over here on the right, this is kind of a screenshot I took of the video I asked you all to watch that really kind of debriefs the pledge service. It's located on leader.org. I kind of listed the instructions in leader.org during our first newsletter that I sent you all. Were you all able to watch this video? Can I get a thumbs up if you were able to watch it? Okay, I see some people did, some people may not have watched it yet. Okay, that's okay. It's just really helpful and really debriefs the pledge ceremony and gives just like a really good overview of all the things, because sometimes when you're watching the pledge ceremony, you might like miss something or you don't really understand something. So it's really helpful to watch so that you like fully understand really what the pledge ceremony is. So I would definitely recommend watching that if you have not already. So maybe you can do that this week if you'd like. Actually, maybe you can do that next week since everyone has midterms this week. So maybe do that next week. Okay, but just to kind of talk a little bit about the pledge ceremony, just to remind you all, it was the ceremony of you officially becoming a new member of Tri Delta, as when you officially get your green pin. I know some of you all have it from your bid day bag, but haven't yet actually been through the ceremony. That's perfectly fine. So as you becoming a new member, and it is our first official ritual in Tri Delta. So that's why if you weren't there and you watched the recording, we were all wearing white because that is ritual attire. And it's just something that connects all of us Tri Deltas. We all go through the same rituals and ceremonies. So no matter what chapter, if you have a friend in another Tri Delta chapter, they've all been through the pledging ceremony. So just to kind of like spark some discussion, you know, it can be a little chaotic, so we're just gonna make the best of it. But why don't you all like unmute and tell me what really stood out to you during the pledge service? Only unmute if you really want to talk. And if talking in front of large groups isn't your thing, you can definitely mention in the chat. But just what are some things that really stood out to you during that pledge service?
I would say something that really stood out was just like how personal it was, that like everybody could hear their name said, and it just like really brought the group together and like really like introduced everybody to each other, even if like we've seen the faces. It's really nice to like put names to face, to like scroll through as you're reading the names to like match girls to their names.
Yeah, thank you, Juliana, for telling me that. That's awesome. Yeah, that is the first time any new members were read off for Epsilon Psi chapters. That's a really big deal. Just like in the ritual book that you all sign, that signature book, those are the first signatures to ever be in Epsilon Psi's ritual book. So it's a very big deal.
I liked how women from other chapters came and watched us.
Yeah.
Like watch the whole thing happen. I like that.
Like the alumni who came to support you all. Yeah, that was really cool for them. I don't know if you all could see a lot of the alumnus faces on the Zoom, but I know I could from my screen, and they were just so excited. All of them were smiling. I think it meant a lot to them, especially many of the women who were there. You may not have met them, but they were either a part of interviews or maybe were at preference. So they were really excited, and they've even reached out to us and emailed us, even like asking about specific people that they interviewed or met during preference, and they wanted to know, you know, how you all were doing. So it meant a lot to them that they got to see you all during the ceremony.
I think it kind of also made it feel more like special, because with everything being virtual, it's definitely very different. So like it's kind of just like, even if it was online, it still just made it feel official, like with everything being so weird online this year.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that too. I hope initiation's gonna feel like that too. If anything, I think initiation's gonna feel even more special just because it is put together by our executive office, and our fraternity board members are a part of it and actually leading it. So it does feel different, but it feels equally as important. So that's awesome that you noticed that. How can you all use the pledge service as the foundation to your Tri Delta membership?
I feel like since it was the first thing that we all like did together, even though we weren't all together, we were all together virtually and we all had our names read. Like I feel like that was kind of just our first like symbolization of like, okay, this is a sisterhood.
Yes, thank you, Maddie.
It also really solidified like the values that we've been talking about, but now like we're actually able to kind of embody those as like Tri Delta members.
Yeah. You all really kind of take on that ownership and that responsibility of like, now this is kind of on you all to really embody these values and live them out every single day, taking that ownership. Also, if you didn't sign the book, I saw your question, is there another time we will be able to? Yes, there will be another time. So what will probably end up happening is that we'll have the book. So the book is in Fairfield, Connecticut. So we'll either have another time designated this semester, but what will probably end up happening is at the beginning of next semester, anyone who didn't get a chance will have a set time for you all to come by and sign that, because we do know that there's a lot of people who are fully virtual this semester, so we want to make sure we can accommodate that time next semester as well. But going kind of back to our questions, was there anything that surprised you about the video that you may have watched or the pledge service?
Something that really surprised me, but I found interesting, learning more about the symbols and what they all symbolize, how they will relate to us later on. One being the membership symbol, the pansy, how the different colors will represent each of us. I just found it very interesting more than surprising.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, Tiffany. I think, we'll learn more about Sarah Ida Shaw, but she was so intricate and intentional about every single color, about every single symbol, about every single ritual, everything that was written. She was so intentional about all the things that she chose. So even I, every year learn something new about a symbol or the ritual. So you're like constantly learning as a Tri-Delta more about Tri-Delta. It's a great point.
I thought this is not really it's not really something that surprised me as well. It's just more like interesting. I thought like even with like the dress code and when we did the pins and for the pledging, I thought everything like with the dress code, like us wearing like our pastels or whites, it gave it like a really like ethereal vibe to it, like really like sacred. And I don't know, like it really just like solidified like our new founded like sisterhood and everything. And I thought that was really, really special. Like they made it like really more like important and it really embodied the whole like experience. So that's what I thought was interesting.
Thank you, Courtney, for sharing.
How do you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Erin.
Sorry. I think I was surprised that like you said like everyone, like you went through and said every single person's names, because to me that showed that like we're all like seen like as individuals, as not just like a whole group, but each person like is unique in their own way, and that's like recognized as well as being a part of the group.
Yeah, you bring all of your own characteristics and traits and values, but yet you all are able to bond over this one shared value and this sisterhood that you all share. And I think it's really cool that as Tri-Delta, we really want to foster a community where you all like respect and celebrate one another for the differences that you bring to the organization. So to see what you all do with that, even moving forward, is going to be really special, just as your founding experience. So what are you all hoping to grow from? Just kind of, that pledge ceremony was your first initial meeting and your introduction, and you talked about the unity that you felt from it. So what are you kind of hoping to grow from that?
More in the sisterhood, the bonding, and a little and more in the community life, getting more involved, doing things. I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. So building those relationships.
Thank sorry.
Go ahead, Katie.
Cool. Yes. So I think like yes, I hope to grow like by establishing more connections and like being able to also like be the most real that I can be, and like really involve myself in the sorority.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I really like that. I think you all too, as a group, maybe that's something that everyone can agree to, is really trying to be themselves during this whole process and taking the time to learn about themselves and really bringing themselves, because, you know, as Tri Delta, we ask you to bring you. We want you to come here and be like you. We don't want you to come here and be like anyone else. So definitely, I think that's something we can all agree to. Thank you, Katie, for bringing that up. Julia, did you have something?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I hope I'm, like, because I joined late, so I joined this past week, and I hope I'm able to, like, form good, like, relationships, even though most of it's going to be virtual. I hope I'm able to, like, meet people in real life and form, like, good, strong relationships with people.
Yes, thank you, Julia, for sharing, and we're so excited that you're here. Everyone say hi to Julia. We're so happy that she is so excited to join Tri Delta and that she's here with us. Does anyone else have anything that they want to add to this discussion before we move on to our next part?
Yeah, I would also say, because like Tri Delta is brand new to Sacred Heart, like I want people to like recognize like the culture of Tri Delta and like us grow and know that like people who know Tri Delta know that we're people that are there to like empower other people, support other people. And I just want like when people hear Tri Delta on campus, like they associate us with like strength and inspiration and like a good idea of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Is your name Jaden or Logan?
I'm Logan. I'm Jaden.
Logan, and then you're Jaden. Awesome. Okay, good. I completely agree. I definitely think even since Bid Day, we've had so many people come up to us while we've been sitting on campus and just telling us about how excited they are for Tri Delta and how they've heard so many incredible things about the women who joined. So I definitely agree that you all already have such an awesome presence on campus. And so that's just a really great starting point for you all to keep building on over this next semester and really the future to come, because you all are the founding members. Does anyone else have any other discussion points that they really want to add?
I just wanted to say, like, I'm excited to like take everything like that Tri Delta has to offer and just like use it to its fullest potential. So like between sisterhood and like volunteering and just like everything that it involves, like I want to try to take every single opportunity and like throughout my years at college and even beyond, just like take my membership to like its fullest extent.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. That makes me really happy to hear. And I think, like you said, you guys, you really get out what you put in. So if you're really wanting to get out of this experience, all these incredible things that Tri Delta has to offer you, you know, definitely invest in those relationships and meeting new women and going to these programs, really, you know, putting in the effort that you really want to see out on the back end. So we're here to offer so much. We have so many different things, so many different opportunities, and you really get to make your experience what you want it to be. So if you're like me and you want to do it all, definitely sign up for everything as it comes to you. So that was an awesome point. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so I'm going to click over to our next slide. So down here on the left, this is actually our Alpha chapter. So this was the first founding class ever. And over to the right is the most recent founding class ever of Tri Delta. So I thought that that was a really cool side-by-side comparison. This was from our first pledging ceremony. So it doesn't have everyone, but it does have a good amount. So hopefully you can see yourself in that picture in your small little box. And I just think it's so funny that I'm sure the Alpha chapter over here on the left, I'm like trying to envision like what they even would have thought of this picture on the right. Like, you know, they didn't have technology at this time. They probably would have been like, what in the world is going on in Tri Delta? But we're making it work even in a virtual world. You all are able to found an incredible organization. So I'm sure you all are making the original founders so, so proud and really living up to the ideals that they've set. So it's really cool. Does someone want to read for me this pledge that you all took? It's this quote right here, but I'd love for someone to volunteer to read that off for the group.
I can if you want. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
I do solemnly promise that I will be faithful to Delta Delta Delta, guiding my life by her precepts, and that I will present myself for the trident degree of initiation at the time and place appointed by the chapter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for reading that. So I have a couple more discussion points and questions, and I'll leave it up to you all. Do you want to discuss this promise or this pledge in a big discussion group like the one we have here, or would you rather discuss it in a breakout group? So message in the chat, kind of what you prefer. Breakout groups, big, here, breakout groups. Oh my goodness, we have a big mix. I wonder if I can do a poll. I don't think I can do a poll. Big, here, here. Oh, I can't tell. It's so divided. Here, I think most people want to stay here. So we'll just do a discussion on this pledge here, if that's all right. Yeah, Juliana said looks like more here. Okay, we'll stay here. So what is this statement, when you read this statement to yourself, like what does that like mean to you as an individual? First, like give yourself a second to think about it. And then I'd like you to share if you feel so compelled to share, or you can message it in the chat, whatever you prefer.
I think this has to do with Tri Delta's values and just being a good person in general, showing kindness, like showing your best character, and like continuing to improve like upon yourself, and like being a good friend to others, and just like following their values on a daily basis.
Yeah, Stephanie, I think you pretty much just covered the gamut. That was a really great overview. Thank you, Stephanie. That was awesome. So yeah, really taking on that personal responsibility and really living kind of by the ideals that Sarah Ida Shaw wrote about whenever she founded the organization. That's a great overview. So yes, staying true to yourself. So what does it mean when we say kind of like guide your life by the precepts? So like Stephanie really kind of explained like the values, but when we talk about that like today on like a tangible action item, on a thing you could do on a daily basis, like what do you think that means?
I think that means just like living like through your best potential and like taking every opportunity to do what you can and just like give what you can, and just like following like really solid mindsets, and just like trying to always work to be better, and like following all of like the values that we establish just like in a greater depth.
Yeah. So what for you is something that you would like to do on a daily basis?
Like we were just talking about like how you were asking for like mantras or like things we repeat to ourselves. Like something like that is really good like on a personal level, but every day if you can just compliment like one person, like something like that, like that's a really good goal to have, and it's like easy to achieve, because even if it's just like someone in your family and you're like, oh, like I really like your shirt, I think it just makes people's day sometimes, because you don't know what kind of day people are having.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. What else are some really tangible things that you all could do on a daily basis?
Something to kind of go along with what Juliana said was, and especially I know it was like World Mental Health Day recently, just like checking in on your friends, as simple as it is, it's something that like a lot of people don't think about. So doing that.
Yeah, especially after kind of checking with our feelings wheel and seeing how everyone's really kind of going through a stressful time right now. I think that would be a really great way to touch base with people. Because don't you think that you would enjoy like a nice text from one of your sisters just saying, hey, I'm checking in on you. I know we've all got a lot going on right now. I see a lot of head nods. I think we'd all really appreciate that. So definitely do that for your sisters as well. Check in on them, especially if you know they're having a hard week. That's great. Thank you, Maisie. What else? What's another tangible thing we could do?
I think another thing that we can all do is like, yeah, we should of course take care of our sisters, but I think we also need to take care of ourselves as well. I think as much as we also ask other people like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I know like midterms week, or like I know everyone's going through a lot right now, I feel like you should also take a moment to check in with yourself like every day, or like give yourself that like 5 minutes of peace every day. Whether you're like walking to class or something, just be like calm yourself, because how are you going to be able to, like, you have to be your best you in order to help other people be the best version of themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Maddie. That's like awesome. I completely agree. Like you really have to find like what works best for you in order for you to feel your best self. I remember I interviewed someone and she joined. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name, but she told me that she started meditating every single night before she went to bed, that she downloaded a meditating app and joined a club where all they do is meditate. And that I was like, that sounds so incredible. Like that would be great. And so that obviously works really well for her. So figuring out like what works for you in order for you to feel your best self, in order for you to feel good so that you can be there for other people. Absolutely. Thank you, Maddie. Awesome. So what do you think, because really this is a pledge. So it's our pledge service. So you're making a pledge to Tri Delta. So like, in kind of more modern day, and I think for it to be a little bit more translatable for us, like I like to think about it as like a promise. So it's like a promise to Tri Delta. So you're upholding a promise. And when we make promises, we don't sign things. I mean, you all sign an obligation of membership, but I'm kind of talking a little bit more about the pledge that you all made to Tri Delta and really the promise you're upholding. So to you, like, what does that mean to uphold a promise? And how do you really kind of want to fulfill that within Tri Delta?
I think the promise that we made to Tri Delta was just that we were going to be ourselves and just be like good active members of our community. And keeping that promise is not only keeping like a promise to all of your sisters, but it's keeping a promise to yourself that you're just going to stay the best person that you can be, even when you're having a bad day or you're like down on yourself. You know that you've promised yourself to be like your fullest potential. So you have a whole group of sisters and yourself to like uphold it to.
I was gonna say something similar, like it holds you accountable. Like it keeps you accountable to both like yourself and to everybody to definitely like keep those values.
I also think it's just like a way to hold yourself accountable for like everything. Like if you're feeling like upset about something else, it's another thing that you can like have in your mind to like motivate you to like do better like at other things. Like if you're having a hard week, like knowing that you have this like sisterhood and all these people behind you, just like having that motivation is good.
I say it kind of acts like a mental vision board. It's just a reminder to just be you, be the best you, and continue to embody the values of the sisterhood and pay it forward.
Absolutely. Those are all so great. How do you think that we can, because we know none of us are perfect. We know that we're not perfect people and that sometimes we're not always going to be our best selves. So like as sisters, like how can we really hold one another accountable to that promise, but in like a way that you would want to be held accountable by your sisters?
I think honestly, if someone's like struggling and not being their best self, like being like, hey, I'm here for you, what do you need? But like saying like, I'm noticing that like you're not being who you were like 2 months ago or whatever, and just like offering that support so they can like so they're aware, but then they can like focus on themselves because they might not be aware.
I have a good example of it, and I think it's like something that can be applied to this situation too. When like I first got to college, I was like having a little bit of like struggling with like eating and stuff, and my roommates noticed. And two of my 3 roommates are also Tri Delta sisters, and they like came up and we ended up having a really good discussion about just like mental health and like being good to yourself and stuff. And so just like the way that we had a really good like constructive like conversation, and how they still like help me like every day is like feels really good to have people there for you. So I think that could like
I know.
I think that could like apply to like Tri Delta too, besides like just like the roommates, you know. So yeah.
That was a really great example. Thank you. Jenna, what were you going to say?
I think it's also really important to be open to having people approach you with that kind of stuff, because I know a lot of people can take it offensively, but like we all have to understand when, if like a sister is to, you know, like pull us aside and talk to us and check in on us, we have to understand them just coming from a good place and they're not trying to criticize us or just trying to help us.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that your initial reaction can definitely be to get defensive. So definitely, I think when we are approaching one of those situations with one another, like coming from a really loving place and looking at them as a person first and not criticizing them for maybe any of their actions. So I definitely agree, Jenna. And then maybe like all of us as a group can agree that we're going to be really open-minded and open to learning and growing. And part of growing is, you know, taking that feedback from one another and being held accountable. Cheyenne, did you have something?
Oh, yeah. I just kind of wanted to go off of what Jenna said. Like, we all want the best for each other. And I know, like, sometimes it's very hard to hear, but at the end of the day, like, everyone has each other's backs and we want to see everyone succeed and be the best person that they could be. So I think just noticing them, like, when people are kind of off, I think just kind of lending your hand and kind of being like the voice, like the shoulder for them to be on, I think that's going to help us grow really close together.
Absolutely. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. Is there anything else you all really want to
I definitely wasn't.
Yeah, Allison?
Sorry.
No, let's hear it.
I definitely wasn't having a good week, and we met, like, my small group, Amanda, Jaden, and Jess, we like met, and they definitely didn't know that I wasn't having a good week, but just them like reaching out and being like, let's go get lunch, let's go take pictures, like it definitely made me feel better because it was like a perfect distraction for what, you know, was happening. So I was really appreciative of them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Allison, for sharing. That was so sweet. Well, I'm glad that that like made you feel better. And I think you brought up a really good point, is that sometimes we don't always like let people in and let them know when we are having a hard time. So I think just, yeah, the simple action of just asking someone to go to lunch could really brighten their day. And that's like not even a lot of effort on your end to do that. And it really does cheer up somebody else's day. So thank you, Allison, for sharing that. That was so sweet. Okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to add about really this promise that they've made to Tri Delta and their sisters? Allison, I hope your week is better, is what the chat is saying. So I hope you're having a better week. Are you having a better week?
Definitely yes, just because I came home and I got to see my dog, so I was really excited, but definitely much better.
Aw, what kind of dog do you have?
I have 2 Yorkies. Their names are Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby?
Yeah.
Cute. Well, good. Okay, I want to see my dog now. Well, thanks for sharing, Allie. I'm glad your week is better.
Thank you.
Better too. So we're all good. Okay, so when we talk about a promise, like we also need to really talk about our purpose of Delta, Delta, Delta. So this is really what we're promising whenever we talk about a promise or a pledge that we're taking. So can I have a volunteer to read the first little chunk?
I can read it.
Okay.
The purpose of Delta, Delta, Delta shall be to establish a perpetual bond of friendship among its members, to develop a stronger and more womanly character, to broaden the moral and intellectual life, and to assist its members in every possible way.
Thank you, Alexandra. Can I have someone, a volunteer, read the second part?
I can read it. It shall also be the purpose of Delta, Delta, Delta to promote and develop mutually beneficial relationships between the fraternity and the colleges and universities where the fraternity has established chapters, to develop qualities of unselfish leadership among its members, and to encourage them to assume with integrity and devotion to moral and democratic principles the highest responsibilities of college women.
Awesome. Thank you all. So this is our purpose. Every Tri Delta chapter reads this purpose typically before every single chapter meeting. Some Tri Delta chapters even have this purpose located somewhere in their facility, like on the mantle or in the entryway. This is something that we all really I mean, even myself, I have this memorized. Most chapter members end up memorizing it because you say it so much. But this is something that we like really use at the beginning of every meeting to kind of reset and make sure that we're like, okay, this is why we're here today. This is why I've showed up on a Sunday afternoon when I could have been studying. This is my purpose as to why I'm in this organization. It's really what drives us. So you probably will end up having this memorized just simply by the number of times that you all will read it over the course of your time in Tri Delta. But yeah, this is like really how we live out our promise that we make to Tri Delta on an everyday basis. So what is like kind of some first thoughts whenever you hear this?
I like that like friendship is like the first thing that's talked about. I like that because it kind of like focuses on the fact that like the main like point like in Delta whatever is like that like friendship is like really important.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of our core values. So really value that friendship with one another.
Yeah, this is Kai. Is more, yeah, like what she said, just how it's more of a friendship than like a sisterhood. Like, of course it is a sisterhood, but like one of like the top things is like the bond of friendship among like all the members, and I like really love that. So
Me and Logan both had like something to say. Okay, Logan, go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I really like how it says unselfish leadership. Like, I think that's a really strong point to make, that in joining Tri Delta, it's not to feel like superior or like you're above or like you're morally better than your peers, but more just to like know that you are someone that can be held to like that expectation that we're going to be there for one another and there for our peers, not so much above them or better than them.
And I liked how it said the highest responsibilities of college women after like saying everything, because I think that's like very true. Like we do have a responsibility, not only just as like members of Tri Delta, but like as women that have like the privilege of getting a higher education. Like not everyone did before us, so we do have like a responsibility to be like good, strong, everything that like this whole like thing says. We have that responsibility to like act that way and be that way, so it's a good thing to remember.
Thank you, Jaden and Logan. Those were both really great thoughts to add. Okay, well, what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go to the second slide. So I want you all to take a picture of this with your phone. So we're gonna use it for an activity that we will do in breakout rooms. So we've done a lot of big group discussions. Now we're gonna go into breakout rooms. So definitely take a picture of this, and also it's just good for you to have in general. And then give me a thumbs up. It looks like everyone might have a picture. If you didn't get one, it's okay. Someone in your group, whenever you go into a breakout group, will have one. So I'm going to split you all up into breakout groups. And really what I want you all to do is go line by line in your breakout group. So like each color, and come up with 2 to 3 tangible things you all can do on a daily basis that live out that line of the purpose. So how you all can act. So for example, the purpose of Delta shall be to establish a perpetual bond of friendship among its members. So maybe 3 things you could do is like, every week I'm going to text 1 new person in the chapter, or every day I'm going to, you know, reach out to a new sister or check in with my small group, or, you know, different things like that. Come up with tangible things that you could be doing where you're living out really the purpose of Delta on an everyday basis. I think we said Delta, not Delta. Tri Delta. So I'm gonna do a breakout group, and then I'm gonna give you all about, I'm gonna give you all like 15 minutes. So go through each line and come up with 2 to 3 things. And then when you all come back, we'll go through each line and have you all like kind of shout out different ideas, because you all hopefully will come up with a bunch of different ideas, and those are things that we can start doing on an everyday basis. So I'm going to send you into your breakout groups, and then I'll bring you back at like 5:12, 5:15-ish. Okay, so I hope you all came up with some fun things that you all can do in order to live out Tri Delta's purpose. So I kind of want to hear from you all, so you all can kind of hear from one another, different ideas that you all can be doing on a daily basis to live out the purpose. So just to start off, the first line you all hopefully discussed was to establish a perpetual bond of friendship among its members. So what were a couple things you all thought of? You can either unmute and share what your group talked about, or you can mention in the chat, but if you all had a great idea, we'd love to hear it.
One thing that our group talked about was like what you said, like checking in with other people. Like I know I'm close with some people already in the group, but then like branching out and like making sure that everybody's kind of like on the same page, making sure we're all in the right mind space and all that. Sorry, my resident's knocking on the door.
That's okay. Thank you, Mackenzie. Michaela in the chat said we talked about checking in on people daily. Even just a good morning can go a long way, just to reach out and make people feel more supported, even if you don't know them that well. That's awesome. I think sometimes we think like, oh, I don't want to text this person because I've never met them and they might think that's weird. But for me, like if I received a text message from someone else in the chapter and they were just saying like, I hope you have a great day, it would mean a lot to me, even if we had never met. So I'm sure, like, raise your hand if you really think you'd feel the same way, so that we can show like those barriers aren't really a thing. It's just something that might live in our head. Awesome. Mackenzie, did you have anything else you wanted to add to your thought?
I think that's it. I kind of got distracted, sorry.
No, you're good. It's okay. Was there anything else on establish a perpetual bond of friendship?
When you see another member of Tri Delta, like just walking around campus, just a simple hi, how's your day? You know, just make them feel, you know, part of the group.
Yeah, so making sure that when you're seeing like your sisters out and about, that you're always like waving hi and checking in, even if you're in a rush and you're going to class or, you know, you're running late, or you see them all across like way far away, just like waving. Like it doesn't take a lot, but just like acknowledging that they're there, definitely that goes a long way. Awesome.
My group also, we talked about how all of this is so virtual, and kind of maybe reaching out to different people and getting that kind of personal kind of interaction, like going out to lunch like in small groups and things like that, to kind of make it more personal instead of so like online.
Yes, you all definitely are more than welcome to totally message one another and meet up for coffee or lunch, just as long as it is in that small group, so that we're also being safe. But definitely take advantage, especially if you all live on campus and want to see one another on campus. Totally meet up and hang out. If there's a sister in class that you have, or there at your work study, or if you know the person, make sure you are there for that person. Friendships are especially important here during COVID. Thank you, Lydia. I completely agree. That's awesome. What were some things you talked about when in the purpose it says to develop a stronger and more womanly character?
I'll go. So yeah, my group said that we kind of felt that this part was a little bit subjective because, you know, being a woman comes in like, you know, many shapes and sizes and different meaning to everybody. So we felt that along with this is that we would incorporate, you know, Tri Delta's values, you know, self-sacrifice, friendship, and kindness, and kind of intertwine that with our own depiction of what being a woman is, and helping, you know, have Tri Delta help us along with that journey of becoming, you know, like I said, like a stronger, more womanly person. And so we just wanted to kind of, you know, take Tri Delta and ourselves and kind of unify them together.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Our group mentioned that this does not just include ourselves, but others as well. We should, just scroll down. We should support each other's character as well as our own. That's a really good point. Thank you. Julia said, if we had a way to make smaller groups with similar majors so people have an opportunity to get help from someone older who may have taken a class that they can form another bond with, that would be another way we can incorporate friendship in intellectual life. Awesome suggestion, Julia. So when you all, fingers crossed, get access to Omega One very soon, you're actually able to go and upload like all of your classes that you're taking each semester, so you can see who's like sharing a class with you, so you can like connect with them. So once we get that platform working for you all, Definitely everyone can go and upload their classes and you all can connect over those common courses. Michaela said, we discussed trying to be more assertive in class or outgoing just in an effort to make a presence and contribution in different parts of our lives while also hyping other girls up, whether on Instagram or even in person. Yes, definitely celebrating one another. That's great. What did you all say when it says to broaden the moral and intellectual life?
We talked about just kind of like educating ourselves about like current events and things that are going on in the world, and then also having discussions with the other girls in Tri Delta about those topics too.
Absolutely, like constantly educating yourself and being knowledgeable on the things that are happening, being willing to like share that knowledge with others. Discussing current events in our small groups, that's awesome. I love it. Did anyone else have anything that they wanted to share about to broaden the moral and intellectual life?
I think for like the moral aspect of it, it's to like always do what you think is right and to not like sway, I guess, like for anything, but just to stand firm in what you think is right and what you believe.
Absolutely, like so standing up for what's right too. Definitely. Thank you, Erin. Awesome. Not being afraid to ask questions. Absolutely. Always ask. Definitely. Great. Okay, so what do you think it means, or what were some things you all thought of when it says to assist its members in every possible way?
This one, I think, is just like making sure, sorry, my dog's walking around in circles. Just making sure you're like have open arms for your sisters and like are like a stable spine for any girl who may need just like a pick me up, or just sometimes like you just need someone there that you can be like, hey, like I just need a minute. Can you just like sit with me? Like even if you don't want to talk, sometimes just being in someone's company is always delightful.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Thank you, Juliana. Molly says to always be there for your sisters whenever they need. Is there anything else you all talked about on that one that you want to share?
Yeah, we also said like not being afraid to like be assisted. Like I said that like it's such a large group. There's so many of us that like an issue that we might be having, like there's bound to be like one sister that like can help you out, and just kind of like to not be afraid to like ask for that assistance, like as well as assisting others.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important to advocate for yourself and to know when to ask for help or know when to ask like when you need support. Even using like little things like the feelings wheel that we did at the beginning today, just like asking like, how are you feeling? Like that could go a long way and just open up a door for someone to just say like, I'm so stressed and like, let me tell you why. And like, maybe that's all they needed is someone to listen for that day. So absolutely. That's awesome. Let's see, what did you all say for the line that says to promote and develop mutually beneficial relationships between the fraternity and the colleges and universities where the fraternity has established chapters?
We talked about that could be like between different Tri Delta chapters, or like even within our university, it could be like supporting other sororities and fraternities and like going to their philanthropies and like showing your support by supporting others.
Absolutely. So having that presence in the community and really showing up for other organizations. I mean, even thinking about whenever, you know, us consultants first got to SHU, all of the other organizations were so welcoming and so excited. And a lot of them are really the people who referred you all to us and really said that you all would make incredible founding members. So they've already been so supportive of Tri Delta. So for you all to support them back in their philanthropy events and whatever their endeavors are would probably go a long way as well.
Our group also talked about like following the Pioneer Promise and just following like all the guidelines that Sacred Heart has for us while also embodying like Tri Delta's values.
Definitely. Like, since we are a Sacred Heart organization, it is really important that we follow those guidelines that they set forth and that we're really supportive of them. Because I think that SHU definitely has everyone's best interests at heart. So making sure that we are following that pioneer promise whenever we are, gathering or really going about our everyday lives. So that's a really great point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Our group kind of talked about how, since we're like the founding of, like the foundation pretty much of the sorority on campus, it's very important that we give Tri Delta a really good reputation, so future classes will come in and hear great things of us, and that's really like being involved in campus and having people know who we are as a group and as like individuals. I think that's very important for us in like the future of Tri Delta here.
Absolutely. And I think it's just important in how you all speak about one another whenever you all are out and about, and how you talk about Tri Delta. Sometimes, yes, like you would rather be like watching Netflix than maybe on this meeting right now. But I think really talking about it in the way that's like, we're grateful to get to spend this time with one another and get to meet new people. I know, like, I'm really grateful that I get to see all your guys' faces, and that we like have this platform in order for me to chat with you all and like really meet you all and hear your voices and hear these things. So just like being able to talk about Tri Delta in a way that really does reflect how you feel, because it is so easy to like vent and get things off your chest. But when you think about it really like deeper down, you want to make sure that you're really talking about it in the way that you feel on a deeper level. Because that definitely carries far whenever you talk about it. Even if it's, let's say a woman who's interested in Tri Delta, if she only hears you talking about Tri Delta in one way, she doesn't really understand then what Tri Delta is really about. So it's so important that you are careful in the things that you're saying about Tri Delta, and that it's always reflecting how you really feel. It's a really good point. Okay, what did you all say to develop qualities of unselfish leadership among its members?
My group, you can go. Just to like support people who get like leadership positions, because everyone has different qualities, and like just to be there for them.
Definitely. We definitely want to support one another up. That's what we're founded on, is building up women, not tearing them down. So absolutely.
My group talked about like taking leadership positions for the right reasons, like understanding that like when you're a leader, like it's important to like incorporate everyone's ideas and like what they have like to contribute, and not just like taking full control yourself.
Definitely. Making
Going
sure.
off what,
Adding to that,
sorry, going off of what Julia said, I think it's also important to note that leadership can be seen at any level, at any age, regardless if you're a freshman to a senior, and you don't necessarily need a title to be, to be considered a leader. It goes without saying that, if being good role models not only to ourselves but in our community, and just realizing that again, like it doesn't have to be appointed to you as a position for you to realize that you can be a leader.
Definitely. Thank you, Alyssa. Greta, did you have something to add?
Oh, I was kind of like just kind of saying the same thing, like being a leader for like everyone, not just like for yourself, or for like how good being a leader would look on your resume and stuff like that, like doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, definitely, because you're here to like serve one another and serve the organization, not really serve yourself in that way.
My group mentioned how we should like stay true to the purpose and meaning of Tri Delta, and not like stray to becoming like a stereotypical type thing, and just like looking out for everyone, like supporting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as founding members, you all really have that ability to stay true to the purpose. So that's awesome.
I think another aspect of being a leader isn't just like what you say or like the position you have. I think it's that it's the way you act too. And even if you don't, like, say you go for a leadership position, you don't necessarily get it. I think that you can still be a leader in the fact that you support the person who did get it, and you're not just jealous that you didn't get it, but you realize that that kind of goes with being like self-sacrificing, that you have to, yeah, you didn't get it, but you still need to support the person who did get it, and that you can still lead by like giving them support and being like, hey, is there anything I could do to like help you do this job better or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Erin. That's awesome. And then Laura said, being a leader who is a voice and a representative for all. So awesome. All really good points. Okay, for the last line that says, to encourage them to assume with integrity and devotion to moral and democratic principles, the highest responsibility of college women. What did you all have to say about that one?
This one I think was like one of the biggest ones, because this one is like asking us to like carry ourselves with respect and like carry ourselves how like society would like expect us to, but like in an individual way. Like I think we need to be like respectful and appropriate, but you can do that in like an individual way while still following like the sorority's values and society's values.
Definitely.
And building off of that, like as students, we have many responsibilities like schoolwork, clubs, socially. So I think it's just like we can bring the values that we learn from Tri Delta into every aspect of our lives. You know, we can incorporate like those characteristics and that strength into every sector of what we do here.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Did anyone else have just general thoughts about the purpose? No? Okay. Well, that's all right. This is something we're going to revisit definitely a lot. Every single meeting, we will recite the purpose and kind of use that as a way to kind of refocus us and ground us before all our times together. And if you think of anything that you may have forgotten that you were like, oh, this is something I can definitely do, definitely write it down and we can revisit at the next meeting. But I hope that you all kind of take some action items from the things we just discussed and really start incorporating that into your everyday lives this week. And yeah, that was a great discussion. So we're going to move on to discuss a little bit more about the history and the founding. So as this is loading, so we're going to talk a little bit. Was everyone able to watch the videos I included in the newsletter? It's okay if you didn't. I'm able to see on, it's because it's on a YouTube channel. I'm able to see how many people have watched it. So I know a decent amount have. So if you haven't already, please try and watch that, you know, sometime this week. If not, I know you have midterms, so maybe next week. But just, can someone read this quote for me? Can you all, someone volunteer to read this?
I can read it.
Okay.
Be kind alike to all and think more of the girl's inner self and character than of her personal appearance.
Does anyone know who said this? Anyone? That's one message in the chat. Nope. Okay. I'll give you a hint. She was a founder. Oh, okay. Sarah, someone said it. Yep, it was Sarah Ida Shaw. She said it. So this is really the ideals that we are founded upon by Sarah Ida Shaw. You can learn a little bit more about her by watching our video that we posted where Catherine is really kind of explaining all the different characteristics about our founding members. But this is just like one of the ideals that we are really founded upon. It's another way that we really like to center ourselves in things that we like to live out on an everyday basis. And just like you all have spent the past 20 minutes really sharing with me the ideals that you really all of you all really want to found this chapter on. It's something that you all are able to foster and cultivate within your community as founding members to ensure that the next group of women that join this organization still abide by and really follow, since it is your vision and you all are the founding members. Our next slide, so also in that newsletter, I did a video kind of just really briefly explaining the symbols. You can also read more about the symbols and emblems in your new member journal. It has just like a little biography page about the symbols and emblems, but here's just some of them. It's, you know, your badge, your Tri-Delta, your new member badge, the pearl, the dolphin, you know, the stars and crescent. Does anyone know which of these symbols represents the new member?
Pearl.
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 Yes, it is the pearl. Do you all know why? Can anyone tell me why?
Because you start off like a little like grain of sand, and then you grow into a big, pretty pearl.
Exactly. Thank you so much. You all must have watched the video. You on it. So what we're going to do now, and this can be our last activity. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do, I'm going to split everyone into breakout groups, and I want you all to, actually, I may bring you back into, okay, I'm actually going to go back to screen share. I'm sorry, y'all. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to split you up into breakout groups, and we're going to do a little activity, and this is what the activity is really going to entail. So with your group, you're going to pick one symbol that you all just really like, you really identify with, or maybe it's a symbol that you all are going to learn more about at initiation, and so you just find that really fascinating. But you're going to pick one symbol as a group, and then you all are going to record a video of yourself. You can do a slideshow video component. You can do kind of a graphic to include with it. You don't even have to do a visual. It could just be of yourself. But you're going to do a video kind of putting together like why that symbol stood out to you, really how you identify with your experience in that symbol, how you can connect that symbol to values, how it really makes you feel, and then how your chapter really can celebrate that symbol. And really, I want you to spend maybe the bulk of your time on the last question, because each chapter, typically, each Tri-Delta chapter really creates their own traditions with the symbols. So like, for example, with the pansy, that's symbolic of our alumni women because, well, you'll probably learn later. I can't really go too far into depth now. But so typically what some chapters will do is they will gift their seniors pansies whenever they go through circle degree. So that's like a tradition that chapter might start. Or some chapters during preference ceremony, whenever they're doing recruitment, they somehow incorporate a pearl into that ceremony in order to, you know, kind of show the women who are interested in joining, like, hey, this symbolizes you and what your journey could be in Tri-Delta. So each chapter really kind of comes up with their own traditions in order to celebrate each of these symbols. So that's kind of why we want you to come up with this video and really tell us like why it means something to you, and then tell us like how you think we could celebrate that symbol within your chapter. And then I'm going to take all those videos and compile it all together and send it out to all of you all so that you all get to see everyone's video, and you all can kind of start those traditions and those recommendations that may have been made. So just to kind of start, I know not everyone has watched the video, and if you can't stay, that's totally okay. If I know some people have other obligations, but what I'm going to do, so we're going to go into breakout rooms, and then I'll bring everyone back and we'll do kind of more housekeeping things like announcements and things like that. But for this last activity, I want you all to get into breakout groups, definitely start a group text since you're going to have to get together or organize a time to record this video. And then you can either kind of watch the video that was in the newsletter, or you can, you know, all look up together in your new member journals, different symbols. So maybe just set a goal to kind of pick a symbol that you all want to do and arrange a time to get together and record. Does everyone know how to record a video on Zoom? I know you all have Zoom accounts. Can I get a thumbs up if you do? I see only a few thumbs up. It's pretty simple. In our next newsletter, I'll include instructions on how you can record it. so that you all know what to do. It's really easy. So that's what I would recommend, but if you all are able to gather in person, if it works best for your group to do it in person, you can totally do that as well. So just kind of get in your groups and create a time, and then those videos are due to me by October 18th. So that is like 1 week from now. So you'll get with your group this week. So I'm gonna send you into your groups, and I'll give you all about 30 till about 42, so 5:42, and then I'll bring you all back. So not a lot of time. Okay, good. I hope you all were able to get a group text started and maybe pick a symbol. Were you able to pick a symbol? I see some nods. Do you all want to message in the chat which symbol you chose? I'm just purely curious.
Do we have to choose it as a group symbol or individual symbol? Because I know there's one that represents me, but I don't know if it represents the rest of my group.
Yeah, if you all want to do both, you totally can. Good question. Ooh, I see some dolphin, pearl, pine. Oh, looks like, okay. Looks like we're all over the place, which is going to be good. It'll make for a better video. So I'm excited. Hope you all are too. Okay.
Lainey, I just have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
How long should the video be?
Maybe I would say like 2 to 5 minutes. Probably not longer than 5, unless you have something like really, really great. But I'm not going to be strict on it.
Thanks.
Yeah, good question. Did anyone else have any questions about the video? No? Okay. Yay. We're going to jump into now some kind of more housekeeping things. So just to wrap up, so I want you all to out loud tell us something that you enjoyed about today's meeting. I want you to text a buddy what line of the purpose really resonated with you. In the chat, I want you to message what piece of history or what emblem resonated with you. And just for jokes, whenever you've done all the 3, I want you to hold up a delta so I know that we're good to move on. So you can do it in any sort of order. So
Something I enjoyed was meeting new people.
I enjoy seeing all the different faces.
Yeah, seeing everyone's face was awesome.
I enjoyed learning more about the history.
I liked meeting new people.
I like meeting new people.
I like
Meeting new people.
I like
learning about the symbols.
Learning history.
I like learning about all the different symbols.
I like learning in the breakout room about each individual.
I love meeting new people.
I like learning the history and meeting new people.
I enjoyed meeting new people and to like be able to communicate with them now.
I like meeting new people.
I liked meeting new people too.
Yeah, making new friends. I like learning about the symbols.
I like getting to talk to new people.
As much as I loved meeting new people, I also loved seeing people that I've already met on Zoom and like just like seeing them again, saying hi.
Hey, Larissa.
Hey, Mac. Love you, sis.
Love you too.
Awesome. I almost see, looks like almost everyone has a delta up. I see a lot of deltas. Oh, everyone looks so good in their deltas. Okay. Yay. I liked meeting you all too. So that was a good one also for me. Well, good. So we're gonna, quick announcements. So Meredith, do you wanna jump on and explain the bid cards and bid day bags?
Hello
everyone. Happy Sunday. I've been here this whole time. Haha. So unfortunately, the consultant team has left Fairfield. We're returning to our homes. So if you have yet to receive your bid day bag items, there's a new form in the Sunday newsletter. I need your full address to send your stuff to you. If you're only missing a bid card, also fill that out. Some of them are on campus and you will be able to pick those up, but if you joined after bid day, we'll probably have to write one and mail it to you, but that's no problem either. It'll be the same kind of thing, just send me your address. So does that, give me a thumbs up if that like helps ease some nerves with that. Okay, cool. So we'll get that going in the next week. If you had already told me that you needed your stuff mailed, they're ready. They just haven't left yet. So expect those in the mail soon. And then small groups, if you have not filled out the doodle poll, please, 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 please fill it out tonight, like right now. I just sent it in the chat, like go do this right now. There's like 15 of you who haven't filled it out yet. If you 15 fill it out tonight, we can get the small groups done. I sent you an email also this afternoon if you didn't get it done. I know I need to talk with some of y'all, so if I'm communicating back and forth with you, please try to respond quickly so we can get this done, because we have groups that need to meet tomorrow and I need to have them done tonight so that they can get the information. So please, please, please do that. And if you do that, you'll be able to get your small group tonight, which will be really exciting. So you guys can have some new friends. Yeah, please fill out the doodle poll. No, small group leaders do not need to fill out the doodle poll. And Meredith, when do you want them to have the bid day form filled out by? Wednesday. Okay, perfect. So that form needs to be done by Wednesday if you do not have your bag or your card. And then definitely fill out your small groups. Thank you. Module 3. So I'm going to send out another newsletter. So this is kind of going to be a confusing week. So just to kind of tell you all my vision and why you're getting a second newsletter is that my ultimate goal, this is kind of the funky week, is that after every Sunday meeting, I'll send out a newsletter, the Sunday newsletter, with the recording from the meeting for people who've missed it, and then the videos to watch. So you have the whole week to watch videos before you come back for the next week. So that's why I'm sending out 2 this week, because I really need you to have the newsletter for this meeting. And then now I'm gonna be more on track with module 3 and get you all those videos and those to-dos. So that's why you're receiving a second one this week. And then so from then on, after every Sunday meeting, that's when you'll get your newsletter of your next week of to-dos and videos that you can watch. So be on the lookout for another module 3 newsletter. It'll either come this evening or tomorrow. I just have to wait until this video fully records so that I can send it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit to download. Delta Week and initiation. So in my newsletter that you all should have received, it includes like details on initiation and installation, as well as Delta Week. So over to here to the right is this really nice graphic of initiation and Delta Week. So Delta Week is really the way that we celebrate our new members in Tri-Delta and really like make everyone feel really good about going into initiation. So typically we have some sort of sisterhood activity every single day, and it's completely optional. So I know that you all are very busy students. So if you can't attend something, that's completely fine, no biggie. So Monday, you all will get to arrange a time. You don't have to go apple picking with your small groups on Monday. You can really just get with your small group leader and arrange a time for you all to go apple picking. So that could be really fun for you to do. If you're fully virtual, maybe you aren't able to go with them to pick apples, but maybe you can virtually call in and like do a recipe with your apples or eat them all together, whatever works best for you all. So that'll be fun for you to do with a small group. Then Tuesday, I'm meeting with the St. Jude rep. We're gonna have a St. Jude activity for you all to do, which is gonna be really fun. Wednesday, we're gonna have our archive specialist from executive office. She's gonna come in and do a whole in-depth presentation on Tri-Delta and how really it started from 1888 to where it is today. And then she's gonna talk to you all about the archives history. So at executive office, each chapter So like Epsilon Psi, like Theta Gamma, my chapter has a folder. Meredith's chapter at Rhodes has a folder. Every chapter has a folder at Executive Office of Archives. So it could be newspaper articles about that chapter or pictures or different things that they've collected over the years to maintain that chapter's history and really have that documentation. So on Wednesday, you all will start your chapter's archives folder. And so we'll have an activity for you all to do, and then you'll mail in your letter to Executive Office to live in that folder forever, which is really cool. Thursday, we'll do the pearls, pines, and pansies. So I'll send you all that video that I'm clipping together, and you all will get to kind of pick how you want to celebrate your symbols. And then Friday, we will do what's called a fireside. It's basically just kind of a deeper discussion that you all have with one another and as a whole group, and really kind of coming together before you're officially initiated and installed on Saturday. I also included instructions just in the newsletter on what you need to do if you have a conflict for initiation installation. So just read that if you need to let me know that you have a conflict. But yeah, I hope that that gets you really excited. I do want to just let you know things are subject to change for that Delta week. So things could look different, but we will like have updates and more details for you come next week. So we'll have like the specific location for you all to go apple picking. I'll have some stamps for you all to pick up so that you can mail in your things. So just be on the lookout for kind of more details, but this is just to give you a rough framework and get you really excited for Delta Week. Another announcement is billing goes out on the 13th. So you will receive a statement from your Omega Phi that says this is how much you owe for Tri Delta, and then that's when you're able to go online and start paying. And some of you have already gone ahead and already paid a certain amount, and that's totally fine. It'll just kind of be deducted. So if you receive an invoice, it'll show that your balance is 0 if you've already paid your amount. And then if you requested a installment plan, you will be on an installment plan, so you should be all set to go. And then send in your symbols video to shoetridelta@gmail.com by October 18th. And then did we have another announcement, Meredith? I think we had another announcement.
Yes. Yes, Jenna, do you want to make your announcement?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, so hi everyone. For those of you who I haven't met yet, which is like a lot, my name is Jenna. I'm a senior, and I'm talking today because for one of my projects this semester, I have to run a fundraiser. So I figured like doing one with Tri Delta and St. Jude would obviously be like the best option. So for the fundraiser, it's going to be 100% virtual. We can use social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So for Instagram, we would be making a bingo board, and then it would have a link for people to donate to. So the link would actually be in your bio, since there's a lot of like kind of issues with it being like a swipe up link. And then we'd be posting it on our Instagram stories. And then for Facebook, I was thinking that we could make like a short video montage of like a handful of members who want to participate, like talking about why St. Jude is important to them. And then attached at the bottom would be the same link to donate to. And then I was thinking for TikTok, Meredith and I talked a little bit about it, and we could do it like one of two ways. So we could either post a TikTok, obviously like something appropriate, and then putting in the caption to donate to like Tri Delta, and then having the link in the bio again. Or we could do something where like you can post on your Instagram story. If you meet a certain amount of donations, you'll put a poll up and everybody gets to pick what TikTok like dance you post. So I'm gonna like put my email in the chat right now. If anybody is interested in like being a part of the video, or I actually need help like making the video because I'm not really good at video editing. Or if anybody wants to like participate or help out at all with running it, just email me and like tell me what part you're interested in, and we could just like make it happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. That was great. Good. So she mentioned her email in the chat, so definitely reach out, and we're excited to see how that shakes out. All right. Meredith, do you want to give a shout out to our sisterhood?
Yeah, congratulations to our sister shout out of the week, Jess. Jess is from Boston, Massachusetts. She's a graphic design and marketing major. She loves ice cream. She wants to go to California. She loves dogs. Her favorite activity for staying home is drawing, and she loves art, drawing, painting. Yeah, you can read her little quote about how much she loves that kind of stuff, but definitely give her a shout out. If you see her, give her a virtual high five. Yeah, thanks for sending us your information, Jess. All of you in the Wednesday newsletter, there's a little sister spotlight thing. If you guys fill that out, I will shout you out at some random point in time. So if you're looking for a little pick-me-up, fill out the form and I'll give you a shout out.
Awesome. Yay, Jess. That's awesome. Really excited for you. Love learning where you are from, a Boston gal. So that's great. All right. And then Meredith, do you want to tell us about Welcome Home Wednesday this week?
So this Wednesday, we'll be running a dolphin tank, which is similar to Shark Tank. I don't know, I feel like I'm the only dolphin shark, but that's okay. We're all going to be participating. We're going to come and learn a little bit more about St. Jude's. You can come in and ask questions about St. Jude, things that maybe are still a little bit fuzzy to you. So we can talk more about that. And then we're going to brainstorm some more ideas for philanthropy events, because Jenna's idea is Jenna's project, but we have lots of time and lots of room to build some other things in. A lot of people have been coming up with some really cool ideas. So if you want to make a pitch, you can do that. Send me an email and we can find the right time for you to come in and pitch your idea to the group. So start thinking about things like that. Some great challenges to sort of think through are how can I, make this an effective use of resources, spend as little of chapter money as possible. People really love St. Jude and other philanthropic causes, so it's really easy to get things donated. You can do give back nights at a lot of stores and restaurants. Chipotle does a good give back night. So these are some really good ideas to start thinking about, but we love hearing new ideas. So bring your ideas on Wednesday night and we'll be there from 8 to 10. Stop by whenever you can.
Yay, thank you. I'm excited to hear all your great ideas. I love Shark Tank. That's one of my all-time favorite shows. So can't wait. Okay, well, I know we went 2 minutes over, so thank you all for your time. I hope you had lots of fun and have a great rest of your night. And I'll stay on and answer any questions you all might have.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.